You know, for a series that gives us some of the most magical world building ever written, there's one part of Harry Potter that makes absolutely no sense the moment you think about it for more than 5 seconds: Quidditch. And look, I love Quidditch. It's iconic, it's exciting, and it's the only sport where a child almost dies every 15 minutes and everyone just collapses. But today we're going to talk about all the little and not so little problems with the Wizarding World's favourite sport. So get cozy, grab a butterbeer, and let's break down why Quidditch is completely, beautifully, hilariously broken. Let's start with Golden Snitch, the tiny winged gremlin that decides almost every match, and the only one that I can think where catching it didn't win the game was the Quidditch World Cup. Catching it gives you 150 points, and it immediately ends the game, which means if your seeker is even slightly competent, the rest of your team could literally be asleep and you'd still win. 15 goals? Doesn't matter. Perfect teamwork? Doesn't matter. Your keeper trained all summer? Nope. Again, it doesn't matter. Everything comes down to one kid chasing a flying walnut with wings. Okay, so let's talk numbers. A goal is worth 10 points, the snitch is worth 150. Whoever designed this was either a genius of chaos or had never watched a sport in her life. The system basically says, here's a game about teamwork and strategy, but actually, none of that matters because one player can press the win button whenever they feel like it. If Harry didn't exist, Gryffindor would lose every single match. The whole house is basically held together by one kid with a broomstick and good eyesight, which is ironic given he wears glasses. Normally in sports, you win because your entire team works together. In Quidditch, you win because one teenager spotted a glittery ball before someone else did. You could have the best chases in Hogwarts history. You could play it flawlessly. You could score 140 points in clean, beautiful textbook Quidditch, and then still lose because Draco Malfoy blinked at the wrong moment. Tactics don't matter. Plays don't matter. Oliver Wood's entire existence is basically pointless, and this man trains harder than half the Order of the Phoenix. Here's something else that's completely insane. Quidditch matches can last for hours, days, or in one most famous case, 3 months. 3 months? Imagine telling your parents, hey mum, I'll see you in April, I've got practice. Wizards just accepted that students might be missing for weeks because a snitch decided it didn't feel like being caught today. That's absolutely mental. And let's talk about the safety. There is none. Zero. Quidditch is the only school sanctioned activity where children routinely fall from 80 foot in the air, get hit by metal balls, and occasionally get attacked by dementors, and the staff still go, yep, that seems fine, play on. If a muggled school tried to run Quidditch, it would be shut down before the first whistle. Meanwhile, Hogwarts is like, a bludger tried to murder our student. Anyway, Gryffindor leads by 30. Now, here's another wild part. Quidditch points count towards the house cup, which means catching the snitch gives your house 150 house points. That's more than answering 150 questions correctly in class, more than a week's worth of homework, more than saving the entire school several times, apparently. So essentially, Hogwarts' academic success rests on the shoulders of Harry Potter again. And you know what? All this madness makes sense once you know one thing. JK Rowling created Quidditch specifically to be the most infuriating, chaotic sport imaginable. It wasn't supposed to be realistic. It wasn't supposed to make sense. It was supposed to feel magical, unpredictable, and completely wild. And in that sense, Quidditch is perfect. It was not a well designed sport. It's not fair. It's not strategic. It's barely safe, but it is fun. And honestly, that's what makes it sit fit into the wizarding world so well. So yeah, Quidditch is chaotic, messy, illogical, and probably illegal in half the wizarding world. But it's also part of why Harry Potter feels so alive and so uniquely magical. If you enjoyed this cozy little rant about the wizarding world's most questionable sport, leave a like, subscribe for more Harry Potter deep dives, and let me know in the comments what's the biggest problem you see with Quidditch, or in general in the wizarding world.